Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Semi-Original Guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advance Wars by Web, bringing you another live league game of the day. Today we are on Put Me In, Coach. This is a standard matchup with triple base, airport, and comm tower support, and tons of terrain to work with. Now, our players today are BongoBanjo and J.Yossarian. J.Yossarian, as of late, has gotten a little bit of fame in the Advance Wars by Web Discord, being a notorious Grimm main. He only plays Grimm in the live league and in global league as well, I believe. So he is following in the footsteps of the great Grimm guy and Grimm girl. So a very cool player. He actually took a win on me the other day as Andy as Grimm. I actually ended up losing with Andy versus Grimm on a map, and it was something, folks. It was something. It's definitely one of the matches of all time. But today we have Von Bolt versus Grimm. So Von Bolt, as a day-to-day ability, will get plus 10% firepower and defense on all of his units. He does not have a co-power, but he does have Ex Machina, his super co-power, which will launch an Area 3 missile targeting the greatest accumulation of value on the map, doing 3 damage to everything it hits and stunning those units for 1 turn. So it can be a very effective super co-power. However, the day-to-day ability of Von Bolt is why most people pick him in Tier 1. But J.Yossarian has picked Grimm, a Tier 4 CO. So Grimm, as a day-to-day ability, will get 30% firepower on all of his units across the board, but he loses 20% defense on all of his units across the board. His normal co-power will boost the firepower of all of his units to 150%, and his super co-power will boost the attack power of all of his units to 180%. So, Grimm is the textbook definition of a glass cannon CO. Lots of people don't really like playing Grimm because he's difficult to play due to the lack of defense that he has. But in the hands of the right player, Grimm can be incredibly effective, and we have seen that with Grimm Guy and Grimm Girl and various other Grimm alts around Advance Wars by Web. So, let's see how this one goes today. But before we start, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that has subscribed to the channel recently. We have actually reached over 700 subscribers, which is something I didn't think was actually going to happen. But here we are. Road to 700 is complete, and road to 1K is starting. So hopefully we'll be able to get 1K someday. So thank you kindly, folks. You're all classy, wonderful, kind, beautiful people. Thank your mother and father, because they gave you the ingredients, but you made the souffle yourself, folks. Alrighty, folks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this one here. On day 1, 2, and 3, we have the standard infantry builds, because you gotta get the infantry on the field, folks. It is the #1 priority in Advance Wars by Web. #2 priority in Advance Wars by Web is winning. You gotta win. Sometimes you don't win, though, so that's just the way it goes. Now, we are going for the standard property chains at the moment. It looks like J.Yossarian, our Grimm player, is going to be sending 1 infantry back to cap these back properties, sending 1 infantry back to capture the airport. Now, when you're playing Grimm, air units are incredibly important because they don't really follow the generic rules of Grimm. When you're dealing with battlecopters, a battlecopter on a battlecopter violence is always going to be bad no matter who it is. It's always going to hit for at least 70% damage at minimum. But when you're dealing with Grimm, his copters have a potential of just completely one-shotting you if he has 1 tower. So I believe the roll is between 91 to 100%. So you gotta watch out for those copters, folks. They are very feisty little mosquitoes. So BongoBanjo is going for pretty much the exact same play here, going for the back properties here and sending an infantry forward here, hopefully to capture the airport. Airport is going to be incredibly important. I think air units are going to make all the difference in this map, folks. Now, when I play this map, I kind of like going the land route, but Grimm kind of breaks the game in a lot of ways, and you have to play a lot differently than I think you normally would. So yeah, we're gonna see how BongoBanjo actually counters this Grimm if he is able to. So day 6, and we have captured several properties here. Now, I do see this quite a bit on this map here. We do find ourselves in this sort of a scenario right here, where both players tend to go for this property here and this property here as quickly as they can, because it's very contested. Now, you probably won't hold on to it for long, because technically this property should be owned by the opposite army. It should not actually be owned by this corner over here. So it's kind of questionable. I've done this too, actually. I had a game on this map recently against Poland, and both Poland and I both did the exact same thing, and it basically ended up being sort of the exact same thing, where he attacked this infantry and I attacked this infantry, and then we were kind of just back to square one, more or less. So but the thing about this is, if you do go for this forward infantry, you don't actually have any reinforcements to block the infantry. So you do capture the property, but you lose an infantry in the process, right? And doing that on the weak side can be very risky, because that puts you behind by an entire infantry on that side. As we can see here, that attack did actually go through. Now, however, on the flip side, the exact same attack can happen over here from BongoBanjo. Right, you can send this tank down and... oh, no, he can't. Actually, he cannot do that because this infantry is not in range. Now, he could potentially forego this capture and then attack with this one right here, keeping the exact same deficit of units, but he would be behind a property if he did actually go up and do that. So he might not go for the attack, but I can see the tank definitely going down and taking a big shot on this infantry, which might not be the worst thing, because if you do that, it does take a 200 fun chunk out of your opponent's overall income. So that can definitely affect their build order the next turn, right? So you guys can see here, J.Yossarian, or J.Yossarian, has got 2,000 funds left in his bank after this turn. Does build the double tank chain over there on the right hand side. However, if BongoBanjo goes in for the attack, he will only have 13,800 funds next turn to play with. But if he's not able to do anything else, he will probably just buy a battlecopter and just call it a day at that point. But let's see what BongoBanjo decides to do here. So finishes off the caps, goes for another capture. We are going for the comm tower in the corner, and we go up and take a shot on one of the infantry, taking it all the way down to 2 HP. Beautiful shot. But now we have 2 tanks up here versus a tank and artillery with a minimal walls over here. We do actually have another open shot here with the tank, though. This tank is able to go into the middle and take a shot here, or potentially it could take a shot over here and disrupt this next capture chain over here as well. So I think J.Yossarian has quite a few options here that he's able to do. Brings his injured infantry back and covers it with a tank, which is very nice indeed. So, you know, I was thinking the other day about Grimm versus Von Bolt, and I actually kind of came to the conclusion that, sort of like low-key, Grimm actually does sort of counter Von Bolt in ways that other COs do not. Because normally, when you're dealing with Von Bolt, he's got 110% defense, and the vast majority of COs, they can't deal with 110% defense in most cases. You know, you sit on a city, and that's the equivalent of an HQ when it comes to defense. Most COs cannot destroy a Von Bolt unit in 2 hits, because they normally, at maximum, will go up to 130% firepower with a comm tower. Say, for instance, Max, right? Max can only go up to 130% firepower with 1 comm tower. But Grimm, on the other hand, goes up to 140% firepower, which actually is enough to 2-hit KO a Von Bolt tank on a city. Wow. That is a lot of firepower. Now, the initial attack, you know, you do take quite a bit of counter damage. You'll take about 30 to 40% counter damage, but you KO a unit. Whereas most, like I said, most other CEOs would not actually acquire the full KO. So it can be very cool. Now, Bongo is in an okay spot right here, but one of the issues is we are not going to be able to capture this comm tower. So on this map, you have a choice, right? So you can go for the comm tower first and guarantee that you capture the comm tower, or you can go for this property here and capture it for a short amount of time. Now, with the right movements, you can go over and you can capture the comm tower in the corner and capture the property, but it is a little bit tricky because it really just depends on what your opponent decides to do. You know, if your opponent plays a little bit sloppy, then you can grab both of them. If they don't, then you can only grab one. So if you guys are playing on this map, I would probably suggest to you, just go for the comm tower. You know, just grab the comm tower, get your overall firepower up, and just play from there. You know, it's not really worth it to go up and just have a unit get KO'd without any, like, bonus from it. The only thing that you get from this is having a little bit of income for, like, a few days, like 2 days, and you lose an infantry, right? Tons of people are guilty of this. I'm guilty of it, because like I said the other day when I went up and did this, it was the exact same situation, and I was thinking to myself, ooh, this is not good. This is not where you want to be. So just keep that in mind, folks. You know, a little food for thought for the future from Semi-Original Guy, aka Mr. Cannon. Alright, so we actually offer up a trade over here. So J.Yossarian could potentially go up, plant himself on this city and attack this tank, doing quite a bit of damage. I think they would take it down to 3. Quite possibly take it down to 3 if we acquire the comm tower first. But in turn, he would end up losing his tank. So not necessarily the best trade over here. But if that does happen, there's an even more spicy move that can happen here, because it goes into attack with the tank. He does damage. He loses the tank. This tank could go right here. Okay, so maybe that's not possible. I was thinking if we brought this tank back over here, we would be able to attack the artillery, but 9 times out of 10, I will probably say that this tank is going to be moving right here and just preventing that attack. But either way, he could go up and take the hit and limit the amount of units that he has over here. And even if he trades a tank for that hit, it might not be the worst thing ever, because you damage the weak side over here. And eventually, you're going to just be able to completely overrun this side with just unit count alone. So perhaps it's good, perhaps it's not. If it was me, I would question it. I would consider it. I don't know if I would go for it, but I would consider it. But I can see that Jay is definitely going to be hitting this. We're definitely going to be clipping this to interrupt that. And then maybe we're going to go in with this. Maybe we're going to bring this tank over here and just double down. Who knows, folks? Who knows? All right, so we have acquired the comm tower. We are going for a few more captures. We interrupt the comm tower capture, and we bring our tank back. Great. Absolutely great. We don't want to go sacrificing our tank anytime soon. Beautiful. Okay, so this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Like I said, if he goes in and takes the attack here, yes, he'll do damage. This tank would just go back and get healed. We lose a tank. It would put a little bit more pressure on this side because he would be down a unit, and he would also be wasting funds healing a unit, but you're also down a tank. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's better to keep your units alive than to just recklessly yeet them out into the ether, folks. Alrighty, so BongoBanjo has a couple options here. You know, we're getting kind of pummeled by this tank in the middle of the map. You know, he has clipped 2 infantry so far. Now we can go down and get what is most likely a just complete one-shot of this infantry right here, which is great. We could move over here, take out this infantry, move the artillery right behind here to cover this tank, bring this tank over here for additional coverage, and then hopefully secure ourselves the comm tower from that. Because the only way that he would be able to get the comm tower or deny the comm tower any further would be bring another tank up. Right, so I mean that's definitely a possibility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I If only we could have the artillery. I guess if we put the artillery right here, we can cover the city too. So, you know, that's not too bad. I could see that potentially happening. Okay, cool. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's a pretty good move. So then we give J.Yossarian options once again. You know, it's like you can go up and you can interrupt. You can lose your tank. You can go try to attack my tank and capture the property. Then I move with tank over here. And then, you know, just cover that tank. Artillery either blast this or blast the tank. We still get the interrupt. So pretty good position right there, I would think, overall. Uses the double injured infantry to block this capture here. We did bring this tank a little bit forward though, which I don't really agree with. Like, the one thing that I've learned about Grimm as of late is you really have to respect the Grimm units. You can't actually just allow a first strike like this, because even if this is 9 HP, this is gonna be like a 6-6 trade, or a 6-3 trade, or something like that, right? So it's gonna be pretty nasty if he goes up and actually does the attack. Either way, the trade's gonna be bad. It'd be bad either way. So let's see. Maybe if he builds another tank here, I definitely wouldn't consider going in for that attack. But if he doesn't build a tank here, then there is possibility to go in for an attack here. So you never know. You never know, folks. But either way, BongoBanjo decides to attack one of the infantry in the middle, taking him all the way down to 5. Built an anti-air. Ooh, anti-air to counter the copter, but anti-air doesn't counter a tank hit, so I don't know. But I mean, if we go in for this tank hit, and then we go in for this tank hit, then we still get blasted by an artillery. We don't clear any of the tanks, so not sure if he's gonna go in for that attack or not, folks. But he does bring the battlecopter down here. And to ward off this pesky tank right here, so that's looking pretty good. Uses some infantry to block and acquire a capture here, and he goes in, folks. He goes in for the attack, and look, this is what I'm talking about here. So did 5 damage, took 3 damage in return, right? I was thinking maybe it would go down to 4, but it went down to 5. So yeah, that's pretty good. You know, it's a 5-6 trade. Yeah, not bad. Threatens the cap. Doesn't attack this guy, but threatens the cap over here. Moves up with the infantry to attack the artillery. Ooh, so that does lose an artillery. Or not an artillery. That does lose an infantry. But it puts a lot of pressure over here. We are going to get the comm tower now. So BongoBanjo is going to be acquiring that comm tower. Absolutely no problem. That's not contested any further. Captures it first, like a professional. Uses the 5 HP infantry or tank to interrupt the cap, and infantry moves over here, completely obliterates that tank because Grimm's got no defense, and that just happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd probably, not that it really, well, it does kind of matter a little bit, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably would have moved the artillery right here because it covers this tank, and then covers this spot right here too. So the only spot that wouldn't be covered would be this tile right here, but this tank is not able to actually reach up there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Impossible. Impossible to reach. It is possible that maybe, I mean, there is a possibility. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, he could forego his own capture, destroy this, and then take the tank up here and attack that guy. But like I said, that's just putting yourself in artillery range. So artillery would probably be a little bit better right there, for sure. But let's see what else he does. BongoBanjo threatening a capture of a property in the middle, so that's looking pretty good. Interrupts the capture with the 2 HP infantry. Brings the tank back because now we got battlecopter presence over here. Forced to build another anti-air to ward off the copter down south. And moves the infantry forward, builds tank, builds infantry, and calls it a day at that point. So position is looking pretty good overall for BongoBanjo. You know, he's got some nice presence up here. He's got some good presence over here. He does have the anti-air coming in to ward off the battlecopter. And yeah, it's okay so far. So, okay, so we're going to go up. We're going to attack the 4 HP tank. We're going to bring another tank forward. Are we gonna yeet into this tank over here though? That is the question, because at this point we are bringing our units forward. So are we just gonna yeet and do damage, or are we gonna hold back? Not sure yet, but we bring the battlecopter in the middle. We actually forego this capture right here, which is very interesting. I mean, the capture is not going to work. That's one of the things, because we have a lot of tank presence right now. So if we go in for that capture, the only thing that will happen is we will lose the infantry, and we won't get the won't get the property, right? So also doesn't go up for this attack here. So yeah, because of the artillery, not worth it. Can't take that trade. Not worth it. But trade from the mountain, yeah, totally worth it. That's a great trade right there. It's beautiful. It's almost like Grimm has defense right there. It's like 20% defense for Grimm. That's like wild. Wild and unheard of territory right there for the old Grimm player. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. That's like sitting on a forest. Not too shabby at all. Now Bongo making a big play down south here, bringing quite a few of his tanks forward, sitting on the city and sitting on this forest tile right here, which blocks any sort of advancement. But once again, we're dealing with Grimm, folks. So infantry from the river tile and the plain tile right here will KO this infantry. Absolutely no problem. And then technically the tanks can go in and take a shot over here, but I don't know. We'll see if that actually occurs or not, folks. But Bongo has built a battlecopter. He's got a couple more infantry, another tank in the corner here. We do got to put a lot of pressure over here in the corner, because Jay's coming in really, really heavy with the tanks over here. So yeah, pressure over here is very important. Goes up, takes a shot on the tank, brings the artillery into the corner. Nice defensive position. We do leave the anti-air open, and this tank is open for an attack as well. Technically we could yeet this tank into this one, KO it, and then guarantee a kill on that one. Oh, yeah, okay, see? Yeah. So that's beautiful. So we actually get the clear, take out the artillery, and now we're in game mode over here from Grimm. Grimm is going to be grimming all over the place up here, folks. He's going to be acquiring a comm tower. Oh, that's going to be nasty. Now, he might not get the comm tower, because we got double tank reinforcement, anti-air reinforcement here, so technically we can go in with one tank, clip it with the anti-air, and that should guarantee a tank kill, and then we can move in with another tank and attack the comm tower, because, I mean, one thing that we really don't want to have happen is have Grimm have more defense. That would just not be a good time. Or defense, offense. That would be 150% firepower Grimm. That would be Advanced Wars 1 max on every single unit. So yeah, that's a risky one right there, folks. Not sure if we want to be allowing that for sure. Definitely want to be getting that comm tower out of here. Okay, so we go in for 2 tank strikes. So yeah, that's a thing. That is definitely a thing. So 2 tank strikes is okay, but he's gonna acquire the comm tower, and like I said, so the one thing that I've learned about Grimm is you have to respect the Grimm. It's weird, because lots of people, like, you know, people will be saying that Grimm is like the worst CO in the game, but I mean, he's really not. I mean, I don't know who would be considered the worst CO in the game. Probably like Sonya, but even Sonya's got some abilities like here and there, right? Every single CO has like a map and a scenario where they're good at, right? And 2 Tower Grimm is a scenario where he's good at, especially when he has a Super Co-Power. So technically, when you pop this Super Co-Power, Grimm has 200% firepower. So think about that for a second, folks. 200% firepower if he pops the Super Co-Power. But he pops the power. So he's at 170% firepower at the moment. So this is going to be absolutely brutal. Look at that. This is a Von Bolt tank at 9 HP. You just roll up and you just destroy it. Like, who can do that? Who can do that aside from Grimm? Like, nobody. And then we clear tanks in the south here. And then now, Jay has got 4 tanks down south. Mind you, 2 of them are injured. But this one's going to be healed up to 7, then joined up with the 3. That's another full HP tank right there. And yeah, we can run away with the copter. So BongoBanjo, however, is playing Von Bolt, and you do have to respect the Von Bolt as well, folks, because he has Ex Machina, and when that Ex Machina hits, things happen, folks. Terrifying things happen. But one thing that is not terrifyingly terrifying is the fact that BongoBanjo has busted out the classy medium tank. The classy medium tank is on the field, folks. The number 2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web, possibly number 3 priority in Advanced Wars by Web, busting out the classy medium tank. Beautiful. If you want to be fighting against a whole bunch of Grimm swarm units, you gotta tech up. You gotta get those big dudes on the field. That is the only way. The only way it doesn't work is if Grimm starts spamming battlecopters. So if he spams battlecopters, well, then you're gonna have a bad time. You gotta find some sort of counter to that. But aside from that, you know, bust out classy medium tank, you're gonna be having a good time. So Jay pulls back out of here. You know, there's no reason to fight over here anymore. You know, we acquired the target. You know, mission success. We got the comm tower. We're fine. Let's bring the units into the mid. It's okay. We do have to keep in mind that the Ex Machina could be coming at any moment. We are about 7,000 away, so that's either destroying 2 tanks or taking 2 tank strikes. And then we should be able to have it. More or less. No, because this is Grimm, so we do more damage. We would have to KO 2 tanks in order to do it. So we probably won't be seeing an Ex Machina this turn, but we will be seeing one probably next turn. I can safely say next turn we'll be having an Ex Machina. So one thing that BongoBanjo could do at the moment is actually use the threat of the Ex Machina to push Grimm back. Right? He can keep forming lines, and he can use his units and just slowly try to push Grimm back and get him to deathball himself up. Then launch the Ex Machina, and maybe things would be great. But you know what? That is a perfect world, and sometimes, you know, it just doesn't happen. You know, we all want to live in make-believe fairy tale land, but you know what? Sometimes the players just don't allow these things to happen. But maybe it'll be possible. You never know. You never know. Jay yeets one of his tanks up here to take out this 8 HP tank. And like I said, who can do this? Aside from Grimm. Grimm's the only guy that can do that. So we go up, we yeet a tank. Not too bad. I don't really know if yeeting the tank is like a great idea. Probably would have just kept it for unit count, but I don't know. What would that tank be able to attack, right? He'd be 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not really anything he would be able to attack. So, I mean, we do kind of just yeet a tank there, but we are kind of ahead, right? Bongo's got 3 tanks. Grimm has 11. So, you know what? Yeah, yeet the tank, man. Just yeet the tank. At this point, you know, you have tank superiority, so you can take those trades to just make sure that your opponent stays really, really low on unit count. Especially the units that actually count. You know, not just unit count, but the units that count. You know, you keep your vehicles alive. I mean, if Grimm out-vehicles you, you're just going to have a bad time. But at any moment, you know, Ex Machina can hit, and we can do tons of damage. Right, but Jay pops out with the Knuckle Duster once again here. So we got the 170% firepower. What are we going to do with it, though? That is the question. We have an infantry up here that is threatening to capture one of our glorious towers. So I don't know if we want that to be occurring. This is interesting because we just busted through. Yeah, we just busted through. So actually, now we're going to see a very, very interesting test here. This is a great moment to do a nice little interesting test. So, I mean, technically we could do the test here too, but I'm going to say the test is right here because I think Jay's going to go up and he's going to attack this tank. Right? So this is 140% defense terrain right here because it's 30 plus 10 for Von Bolt, right? So let's see what the Knuckle Duster 170% firepower does. Okay, so we don't go up and attack it. I was thinking he was gonna go up and attack it. Oh, he does. Okay, here we go. Nah, he doesn't attack it again. What a tease. What a tease. I thought he was going to go for it. Ah, that's too bad. Ah, so we'll never know. We'll never know, folks. We'll never know. But this is good too. I mean, we keep the tank alive, which is fine, right? But what we did in exchange, so we took out 1, 2, 3 infantry and an anti-air and took this tank all the way down to 4. So all in all, that's a pretty good trade, I think. But that is it's kind of screaming Ex Machina bait down there to me. I'm not really too sure about that. But that actually leaves it very open for this battlecopter to move in and attack this infantry over here. So sniping out that lone anti-air, very big brain play right there, folks. Very big brain play. All right, so carrying on with the turn here. Do one more engagement with a 7 HP. 7 HP tank. Attacking full HP tank, taking this guy down to 5. Like, that is a gross, dirty trade, man. That is a gross, dirty trade. So day 16, we are gonna... So we attack. We do have co-power ready, right? We have super co-power ready, so we could pop it. Question is, where is it gonna hit, right? I mean, this kind of looks like a very juicy place for it to hit, but Jay's in a very interesting position at the moment because he's got lots of units over here and he's got units over here, so his units are very spread out. So even if the Ex Machina hits down here, he should have like 4 units to actually still attack with up here. So there's some possibilities here. That didn't clear. Interesting. Okay. Probably just because of the defense, right? Alright, so pop the Ex Machina after doing a bunch of attacks here. Did move the units out of the way. Move this tank out of the way. That's the most important thing to get out of the way for sure. This tank. So probably check the move planner on that one. Because if he didn't... yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, okay, so yeah. If he didn't move that tank, he would have actually ended up getting that tank stunned, which would have been very not good. Very not good indeed. Don't want that to happen. Alrighty, so cool. Not too bad of an Ex Machina. You know, we stunned many units down here. We kind of halted this push here, but like I said, quite a few units in the mid here that can still move. So we sack a unit to interrupt the comm tower. We bust open another tank. We attack a few infantry down south. Very nice, very nice. Threaten a cap in the mid, which cannot be interrupted. And we get another cap over here, which can also not be interrupted. There is nothing in position to stop that. So Jay is going to acquire another 2 properties from that, and actually flipping one of the properties, which is going to put Von Bolt down to 16,000 funds per turn, while simultaneously boosting J.Yossarian to 21 funds per turn, which on triple base, that does mean that you get the legendary triple tank turns for 1, or the other thing is you can safely tech up, and you can build your classy medium tanks or your stinky neo tanks, or you can just bust out with battlecopters every single turn and tanks and just completely flood your opponent that way, which is more Grimm style. You know, Grimm is a flood CO. You know, he just wants to build lots and lots of units, wants to destroy your units and just overrun you with sheer numbers and might. But Jay is playing on increment right now. BongoBanjo, 2 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. Both players are on increment. Things are looking pretty tense at the moment. So we'll see what happens here. We bust out the Knuckle Duster. Once again, 170% firepower. I kind of expected a... No, this is actually fantastic. So the clear on this infantry, once again, actually allows for a tank to clear anti-air. So Jay is playing a game where he does not want his battlecopters contested at all. He wants his battlecopters just to fly free and be pesky little mosquitoes. And that is exactly what they're doing. They're being pesky little mosquitoes. Runs at a time. Does get his builds, so not too bad. Von Bolt flips the tower. So we have 120 Von Bolt right now. And the medium tanks are running wild, folks. They are just clipping units left, right, and center. We clip the tank down here. This guy gets a one-shot on this tank over here. We managed to take out another tank. We are going to be forced to buy more anti-air, though, folks. We get the double anti-air builds in an infantry, and we pull back. We threaten a cap over here, but this is a interruptible cap with nothing really guarding it. So technically, a single battlecopter, single tank can interrupt this like no problem. But we have to keep them occupied, right? I mean, we have to give them something to do. Alright, so this is actually really smart too. So if you are playing on increment, one of the things that you want to consider doing is once you move your purchased units, you know, just purchase units again right away. So you always have unit count no matter what. Alright, do 30% on the classy medium tank, do 20% on the classy medium tank, do another 30% on the classy medium tank, and then we don't take out the classy medium tank. Survives with 1 HP. That's my kind of medium tank right there, folks. The survivor. Beautiful stuff. Alright, moves forward, but once again takes a nice little engagement here. And I think we don't run out of time. We actually just end our turn right there and banked up 29 seconds, so not bad. So BongoBanjo, especially because of the medium tank attack right here, actually is very close to another Ex Machina. Now, he has gone the route of indirects here, has a few tanks on the field here, looking kind of grim down here for sure. This front's not really doing too bad. We do have a battlecopter clear, but that's about it. And we have more tanks over here, so if we go in with the anti-air and clear this, we lose another anti-air, forced to build another anti-air while tanks are on the field. It's kind of a losing situation over there, folks. So it's kind of iffy. I think, yeah, a little shift in the mid, not too bad. So this is just the power of a 120 Von Bolt anti-air versus a Grimm copter, by the way, folks. Just completely clear. I'm pretty sure that's 100% roll no matter what. So very nice. Very nice. Very strong boy. Strong man. Strong lad. Strong old man with fish dome on his head. Grandpa strength, maybe. That's the one. Okay. Everybody knows what grandpa strength is, folks. You know, if you were, well, I mean, we were all kids at some point. Some people might still be kids that watch the channel. I don't know, but grandpa strength. If you know, you know. All right, carrying on, folks. Great. Yep, gotta just take out those anti-air, folks. The more anti-air we take out, the more our battlecopters can just roam free. So if BongoBanjo is forced to actually bring his anti-air forward to, let's say, interrupt caps or attack tanks or attack battlecopters, as long as we have tanks in position to actually take out those anti-air, we're in a great position. This is actually a really good move, right? So you build up a huge battlecopter presence, you know, you force your opponent to spam anti-air, then you just start spamming tanks to counter the anti-air, and you keep your battlecopters back and safe for a little while. So beautiful, beautiful move for sure. Anti-air is moving forward, clip one of the infantry, clip another infantry. This is great. This is actually a fantastic clip here because we have no counter at the moment. So these battlecopters are not going to be able to push forward over here. We are going to be forced to move down south. And because of the way that this map is, these guys can actually just follow them down south too. So I like the position of those two anti-airs for sure, folks. We're moving forward over here. Ex Machina. Blah, 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 blah. Beautiful. You know, it's an okay Ex Machina, but the problem is, excuse me, this is not really where you would want the Ex Machina to hit. If anything, you would want the Ex Machina to hit down here, right? Now, I know you can't control it. You can't just point a button and shoot the Ex Machina wherever you want. But that's not the spot where you want it to hit. So maybe holding it at that point would have been okay, but I mean, if you hold it, then they get away, right? That's the trade-off. But if it hit down here, that would have been fantastic, but I ended up hitting over here. So that's kind of unfortunate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, very nice. If it did hit down here, that would have been absolutely devastating, but yeah, hit mid, so that's fine. Okay, so Jay, continuing the attack up north here. Copter moving in. Infantry moving in. Tanks moving in. Another triple tank build because we have 22,000 funds to 15,000 funds at the moment. Such a discrepancy, folks. Such a discrepancy. It is so difficult for any CO to actually hold up a fight when you're this low on funds. Now, I tend to be pretty low on funds, right? Sometimes I'm this low on funds, and you can still fight for a little while, but eventually it catches up to you for sure. So, props to BongoBanjo for actually holding out this long on low funds. So, does flip one property. So, back up to 16. You know, we're feeling good. We're feeling good. Everything is great. Everything is fantastic. It's just asking for another tank or another anti-air to be destroyed, though, which is kind of risky. I feel like maybe bringing these guys more down south would probably be a more appropriate thing for them to do. I mean, we want to keep them away from the tanks, but I mean, it's so difficult to make decisions when you're in this kind of a situation. I mean, for one, you're playing on increment, and two, I mean, you're fighting Grimm, and he's just like, he's beating up all your guys, right? So it's like, you gotta figure out something, right? It's like, you know, take out the battlecopters. The less battlecopters on the field, the better for you, but I mean, this is asking for an anti-air to get destroyed. Oh no, he busts out the stinky Neo tank. Ah, Bongo. Ah, look at this stink ball over here. Ah, you hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it. But it's here, and it's here to stay for a little while. So let's see how the Neo does. So Neo is going to be pretty good against Grimm. It's going to be basically a guaranteed one-shot on like almost everything that it has, minus the air units for sure. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, folks. Look at this too. So this is like super interesting, right? So lots of people would consider just putting their battlecopters out of anti-air range. But he puts it in anti-air range, and I think this is 100% intentional because he wants the anti-air to go up and attack it so that he can destroy another anti-air so he can pump on more battlecopters, because now he's got tanks everywhere on the field. What he's lacking with up north is more battlecopters. So if he can take out this last anti-air, he can start spamming battlecopters again up north, and it's just gonna be crazy. Ooh, we don't get to clear on that. We do get the, oh, we don't get the clear. Would you look at that? Von Bolt's defense. All right, there we go. And you know what? It's because we're not 170% firepower Grimm anymore. We're actually just 160% firepower Grimm. So we don't clear it because he's got 3, right? But we do clear it now. Then we get the tank up. That should be a, oh, not a one-shot. It's close to a one-shot. 90% damage, but it was pretty close. Pretty close indeed. All right, anti-air moving in. Boom, clipping out another infantry here. Another anti-air moving in. Beautiful usage of the anti-airs at this point. So it does a 4-7 trade right here. Not too shabby. Neo tank moves in. Artillery moves in here. Not too bad at all. Now, Grimm, we're gonna have to check Grimm's power at the start of his next turn because, oh, you know, are we gonna build, you know, we're gonna have to build another anti-air down south. Oh, we don't. Okay, this is gonna be very, very upsetting because we're super close to another co-power, right? I was pretty sure that he was like banking up quite a bit here. We have anti-air clear and then power anti-air clear. So we double clear anti-air. Copter is uncontested down here for a little while. So I wonder if that's going to be the play here. It seems like Jay is like hard focused on those anti-airs at the moment. So I think that's going to be the play. Yeah. Oh lordy, and we lose the artillery. Oh lord, day 23, and things are grim. You know what, though? BongoBanjo has actually acquired another property here, though, so he is starting to flip some properties. but he's half the unit value of Grimm at the moment. So things are, yeah, things are going to be interesting here. Now with the Neo, Stinky Neo tank added down south, this is going to put a ton of pressure on these tanks. They're not going to be able to hold out down south here. Bongo has now acquired another property, so it's 18 to 19. So this is still anybody's game. This is still anybody's game. All he has to do is capture one more property, either this one or maybe flip a property over here, and then things are going to be looking good. And he might be able to bank up another Ex Machina. Now, if we can bank up another Ex Machina while we're trying to do the capture phase, or not capture phase, well, I guess kind of a capture phase. The entire game is a capture phase, you know? It's not just one part of the game. But if we can hold on to it and we can threaten a cap on a property and then maybe pop it afterwards and hopefully stun something so that we can acquire the property, that could be a possibility for sure. Ooh, let's see what happens. Oh, losing 2 more infantry. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god, look at this dirty, stinky Neo tank. We do 2 damage, get countered by 3. So the battlecopter took 30% damage from a Neo tank. Oh lordy poo, folks. Not what you want to be seeing, but Jay is playing to win at the moment. He is attacking every single infantry that he sees, taking them all the way down to 2. He is not just ready to let the Von Bolt infantry just pile onto his properties and capture them. So Bongo is gonna have to do something very drastic to try to hold on to these infantry. You know, he's gonna have to defend them very, very, very well from all these pesky Grimm swarm units. You know, we have so many injured copters around the map that can just like easily cover every single property. All right. Ooh, we can do a lot of damage to this Neo tank this turn, folks. We can do a lot of damage. So there are anti-air here, but we have an easy clear on an infantry right here. Then we can at least, at bare minimum, do 2 shots with a co-power. And we pop the co-power. We do have an interrupt on this property too, so we also don't have to worry about that. We do have another tank to attack over here too. So let's do those attacks first here. Let's see what happens. So we attack 1 and we double hit the Neo. So first attack does 3 damage. Second attack does 1 damage. Curious. Very interesting attacks. Very interesting attacks. Now, most likely what happened was the Neo took massive chip damage, right? So the first roll was just a really high roll and just sort of whittled down its health like a little bit more than it should have. But the other one just did normal damage, so not too bad. Not too bad at all, folks. Bust out another battlecopter. Gonna be moving the infantry forward to hopefully maybe cap this property, but we're gonna be losing 2 of these battlecopters for sure. 3 of these battlecopters, actually. All 3 of these battlecopters are going to be leaving the game this turn, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But I can see Grimm going up, attacking this infantry, maybe attacking this infantry, and possibly even attacking this infantry. I mean, with the weakened forces over here, I think he's gonna go for it, you know? Yeah, like, absolutely go for it. We even take out the classy medium tank over here. Yeah, 100% go for it. Like, there's no reason not to. It's day 25. You count the infantry, right? So, like, 25, 26, 27, 28, right? This infantry can capture this by day 28. And that's about it. Like, there's not really any other options. You could maybe go here. You could try to get this property down here, but you're fighting into a base. The only properties that you can, like, maybe grab at this point would be the 2 mid properties over here. Those are, like, the only 2 that you might be able to go for. Bongo does spot He spots the clear on those two copters over here, but because Jay actually put his tank right here, he doesn't have the third clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't have the third clear. Attack that. Yeah, get that guy out of here. So that does eliminate the tank presence over here, at least temporarily. We should have, I mean, honestly, like the anti-airs can go up and attack these tanks next turn. Like, it's not a huge deal. But these tanks are probably going to come up and attack, so that's gonna be something, folks. It's gonna be something. Ooh, Bongo is so close. He has pulled, like, he is just grasped this game back. He is so close to being able to even out this game. But the J.Yossarian swarm just continues, and we just keep losing more anti-air and infantry in the process. And the Neo Tank is down to 4 HP, so I'm really hoping that Jay can clear this Neo Tank because it is stinking up this field, folks. Alright, we interrupt the capture over here. Beautiful interrupt over here. We needed to do that. We cannot let Grimm have another property. If he gets another property, there is definitely no hope at that point, folks. Yeah, doing the chain over here, but I think JC spots like what the two properties are at the moment that are the most contested, right? This property and this property. I mean, like I said, there's no point to go for these properties because you're not going to be able to stop the chain over here because you have units coming from over here, you have battlecopter coming over here. It's like it's impossible. Same with this one here. Like I said, those two are the ones that you got to go for, folks. Bust out another Grimm co-power, and we one-shot a battlecopter. Yep. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, folks. That guy is out of here. And we take out another anti-air. And we get the clear on the Neo. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Get that stinky Neo tank off the field. And sink the place for him. Honestly, though, Neo tank was a great buy on this side. Because, like, it's one of the only things that you can effectively take out Grimm units with. I mean, you can take out Grimm units with anything, but it's one of the things that Grimm can't just, like, instantly destroy, right? But the problem with building, like, a Neo tank like that is it's so susceptible to battlecopter fire, as well as, like, any unit you can possibly build, right? So I think one of the main ways that you would have to beat Grimm is you have to be able to beat him in the air game. If you don't beat Grimm in the air game, then he's going to be able to just fly circles around you, more or less. But day 27, our last infantry that was in position is over here, just got clipped. So I think at this point, BongoBanjo is not going to be able to capture any properties, and this may end up being a Grimm win. Let's see. We're just gonna fire through the last few turns here, and we're gonna see if anything changes, because it's day 28. Grimm's turn. Bust out more attacks over here. Threatening a flip on another property too. So this puts Bongo in a defensive position again, where he has to interrupt that capture, otherwise he's gonna lose, right? Yeah, there's too many battlecopters. There's too many battlecopters, folks. Oh god. Oh god. You know what? It's honestly the exact same thing that happened with me. Eventually, I just got overrun by battlecopters, and there wasn't anything I could do. But looks like Grimm is going to be. Yeah, he just walks over it at the end here, folks. Not really too much you could do at that point. BongoBanjo put up a valiant fight, but like I said, I mean, Grimm just kind of like, it's strange, like I was saying, Grimm just kind of low-key counters Von Bolt in some ways. I mean, Von Bolt's power is great, but it takes such a long time for it to charge up. Grimm can get off like 2 co-powers before like the super co-powers even like finish charging up, and just decimate like all of Von Bolt's units. So I mean, it's not much you can do. Congratulations to J.Yossarian for the win, and very well played, BongoBanjo. Lots of the plays were good, you know. Just unfortunately, Grimm he's a swarm master, and it's difficult to fight against him sometimes, folks. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. That one was actually submitted by J.Yossarian, who is a member of the Advanced Wars by Web Discord. Also a member of my Discord, with a link in the description below if you want to join that. Aside from that, folks, hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribe. And if you want to support the channel further, you could consider becoming a channel member. And with that, have yourselves a great one, folks. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.